When thinking about creating a team, you need to decide on a number of factors, and one of them is your budget and how you spend it. Your team should be built up on the basis of having 2 goalkeepers, 5 defenders, 5 midfielders, and 3 forwards. You should have 15 players and 100 million to spend. Realistically though, your options are less than that, because the base of the prices of the lowest cost of the positions. So what does that mean? You must spend at least 8 million on goalkeepers, 20 million on defenders, 22.5 million on midfielders, and 13.5 million on forwards. Essentially what this means is that the default price of getting a player in this position is that amount of money. So you must spend 64 million on the cheapest options in the game, meaning you realistically only have 36 million worth of actual options. When I started building my team, I thought of the non-negotiables. What's needed? Straight off the bat, I think Mohamed Salah, Trent Alexander-Arnold. These are 2 players who just have to be in my team and yours. You run the risk of not winning FPL if you don't have them. With Salah costing 13 million, he's taken away 8.5 of the 36 million, and Trent will cost 7.5, taking away another 3.5. In total, the non-negotiables leave you with only 24 million left of the 36 million. From here, then it's a bit of finding value in the base prices. There are some good options available, but realistically there's no starting attackers at 4.5 million. One option which could be an interesting option could be Cameron Archer from Aston Villa, who's looked good in pre-season, but he's not going to be in my team. Looking at goalkeepers, defenders and midfielders, you will find value. In goal, Paulo Gazzaniga could start for Fulham, but they are in the market for a goalkeeper, so it's quite unlikely. In defence there's a host of options, with Nico Williams being 4 million, and he's the best pick of the lot. In midfield, Andreas Pereira will be starting either as an 8 or a 10 for Fulham, and should be on set pieces. These 3 players take away 0 from the real available budget, and it means that there's now 24 million left to spend on 10 remaining players. One of the most difficult options you're going to have this season is going to be choosing that second premium player. There is Son Heung-min, Harry Kane, Erling Braut Haaland, and Kevin De Bruyne. These are some of the best players in the Premier League, and they're almost guaranteed to get you points in fantasy football. When looking at the players, I think it's a little bit easier to make a decision based purely on the fact that Erling Haaland has such a massive effective ownership. At 60% ownership, not owning him from the first game week, it runs the risk of you losing a lot of ground early on, and it's not worth the risk. Next up is a little bit of an either or. It's about choosing a Man City defender in your team. João Cancelo has a massive upside in the fact that he can score goals, get an assist, but looking at City, will he be starting every game? Their plan is to bring in a left back in Marc Cucurella, and then at right back they already have Kyle Walker. I think with the amount of fixtures in Champions League games, there is the risk that he gets rotated, and I think for 1.5 million more than Ederson, I'm not sure it's a risk I want to take, especially if I'm going cheap with my defence. So my decision has come down to it, and it's based purely on the fact that he'll play more games, that it's Ederson. From here though, this is when the decisions get tough. Straight off the bat, I'm bringing in Marcus Rashford. He's worth it at 6.5 million, and when he plays more than half the league games, he scores over 10 goals a season. At 6.5 million, he'll only take away 2 million from the budget. That's a good pick from me. Neto from Wolves also has been on fire in pre-season. At 5.5 million, he only takes away 1 million from the budget. He's a real high ceiling player with a lot of potential. Reece James as well. He's a quality player. Everybody knows it. He's got a monster upside, and I think he and Chilwell will both be good picks. But James probably has a better standard of fitness and less of a rotation risk at the start of the season. That's something to consider, considering Chilwell hasn't been playing a lot in pre-season. At 6 million, he's potentially a snip and a bargain. Another player who's straight into my side is Gabriel Jesus. He has high ownership, and to be honest, it looks like it's for a reason. He's been immense in pre-season, and he could be the focal point of Arsenal's attack. With wingers like Martinelli, Emile Smith-Rowe, Saka, Pepe, a load of players, even Nketiah supporting him. He could score a lot of goals this season. Personally, I think if he's a main man, he could score a goal every second game. That's something that will be amazing value, especially from a player who can create as well as score. Now, just looking at the team, you can see here there's still 4 spots available. But the team looks pretty good, doesn't it? You've got all the key players: Salah, Trent, Nico Williams, Haaland. I think in any squad that I'm going to choose, this will be the core of the squad. The other 4 players are more variable. But yeah, how much do we have left? 24 million in total. That amount can be spent on 2 defenders, a midfielder, and an attacker. Looking at the attacking options first, it makes it more interesting than most. There's so much availability here, and at a range of different prices. Harry Kane is the obvious player who's not on my team, but he costs too much, and I can't consider him. But then looking at the other players who are available in this amount, I think just looking at players like Darwin Núñez, I think he can score goals this season, but at 9 million, he's probably too much. Kai Havertz as well, he should be the main man for Chelsea, but Chelsea haven't looked good in pre-season, and Everton away, while on paper last year was like an easy game for Chelsea, I'm not sure it will be this season. Tony as well, he didn't look so great without Christian Eriksen, who's gone to Man United, and then Mbeumo at 6 million kept on hitting the post last season. So I mean, that only leaves one man, and it's Anthony Martial, who's looked immense in pre-season for Man United. The risk with this is Martial may lose his position to Cristiano Ronaldo if he comes back into the side. It's something to keep an eye out on. Then when we go to the midfielder, I've made the decision to go for an 8 million midfielder. There's just so much talent at this option. There's Kulusevski, Luis Diaz, Saka, Mahrez, Maddison, Mount. For this amount of money, there is a bit more risk. Some of these players have a higher upside. Some of these players are rotation risks. So, with my money, I've decided, instead of going for a player's rotation risk, to eliminate some of the options, I've chosen 3 players who I believe will play in pretty much every game. That leaves me with Saka, Maddison and Mount. So what I've done to eliminate players here is I've looked at their first 5 fixtures and gauged which of the fixtures looks the best. Maddison in his opening 5 has Arsenal away and Chelsea away and Man United at home. They're not easy fixtures. Saka on the other hand has Fulham, Bournemouth, Leicester, Crystal Palace and Aston Villa. They're really nice. Mount also doesn't have bad fixtures, but his opening game against Everton is not that attractive, and when you consider that his game after that is Spurs, I think it just leaves me with one option for my 8 million mid. That player is Saka. So now I've chosen my 2 mid-range attackers. I'm left with an amount for my defenders of only 9 million. With this 9 million, I can spend it one way or another way. 5 million on a premium defender, 4 million on a player who might not play. Or I can spend it on 2 defenders who are 4.5 million each. In this bracket, there's not a lot of good availability, so I'm not going to spend too much time thinking about it. My 2 defenders that I've chosen are Dalot and Johnny, so I think both of them are both good picks. And to be honest, these last 4 players have been players that will probably get changed before the deadline. But overall, team looks pretty good. What do you make of it? Do you rate the team? Is there any changes you'd make? Leave the comment down below, and if you've liked this video, don't forget to subscribe and leave a comment saying how great this channel is. Finally, I know this is the final question about who's going to be my captain for game week 1, and it's none other than Mohamed Salah. Erling Haaland's going to be the vice, but Salah against Fulham is just a dead cert. You're going to have to do it every single time. So yeah, anyway, if you enjoyed the video, don't forget to subscribe, like, all that jazz.